besties. Okay, so like I know that I've been saying like every video is like a new kind of format, but like this one's really very new for me because there's no like video portion. It's just like a series of screenshots that I'm going to use to like retell the story of the Not So Berry challenge that I've been sharing on Twitter. And I know that the thread is like extremely long, so like not many people are gonna see it, and a lot of things you just can't express through the shortened tweet format, so I'd rather just say it. And like you'll see throughout the screenshots that like when I got G-Shade and when I didn't have G-Shade. So it all started with my Mint Gen sim Minta Berry, and so she found her spouse at work. He like originally was a scientist, and then they like fell in love, got married, and then she was pregnant and he had 2 daughters, they're twins, from Liberty Lee from the best friend's household in Willow Creek, and we found that out after we got married and like moved in. And so I always try to keep the twins as like part of the family, because you know they had for like a time a really nice blended family, and so you can see that in the screenshots. And then Minta had the twins, and I went with like gem themed names, so I named them Garnet and Jasper, because at the time I didn't really know for sure whether I wanted to do like an all-female Not So Berry playthrough, but I decided after that I was. After they aged up from babies, I gave Garnet red hair because she was the red Gen heir. And these are just some like really cute screenshots of like the twins together. They were such cute toddlers. And then tragedy hit because their dad died, and it was like so traumatizing because he died like right before they were aged up, which is why Minta looks so sad in some of these, and also why Garnet is hugging the ghost of her father. Like it was so crazy. I don't even remember. I think he died from anger or something. I don't know. He died from something, one of like the emotions, and I was like, no, because they had just had the baby. So that's them together, and I feel like that like made all 3 of their bonds a bit stronger from like the tragedy. And then they aged up, and I had like an updated family photo with the twins who had also aged up into teenagers, and their little brother, who I include sometimes but not all the time because he's not related to them. Like, and by them I mean like the main twins. he's one of Liberty Lee's other kids that she had after Minta's spouse, whose name is November. And then they found some friends, because usually I have my Sims meet some friends that they're gonna like sort of stick with for the rest of their life as kids. And then I also had Jasper make a friend who literally like randomly came to our house one day as I think like a visitor. Like that happens sometimes. I think it started as like eco lifestyle, like random Sims will just appear at your front door, and I was like, well, he needs a friend, so like they were friends. And Minta adopted some chihuahuas, and so we started with one chihuahua and then we adopted another one. And the first one died like shortly after November died, so that was great. And then it was Winterfest, clearly, because like we have them decorating the tree. And yeah, so then I have the twins exchanging gifts for Winterfest, and then more just like chill Winterfest at home things. And then like Minta was obviously getting older, and one of the things that I believe it comes with the slice of life mod, like your Sims can get random conditions. So Minta started having to wear glasses to like read or watch TV and stuff. And then the twins aged up into teenagers, and then I have of course an updated family photo with the first set of twins who are older teens, closer to being adult, and then the played twins who just aged up into teenagers. And then I also of course aged their friends up into teenagers too, so this is like them all together. Some solo photos of the Rose Gen heir, Garnet, and then some with Garnet and Minta together, so that way we can see like as the generation goes on. And these are some like updated selfies with their friends who they had selfies with as kids, because I think again it'd be like interesting to see them as they grow up. And so this sim is the father of the yellow gen which Twitter voted on and chose him. Yeah, but this was like their first date. I think he was like her first ever date, actually. And then I had adopted a kitten named Diana because I'm pretty sure one of the dogs died again. And so I needed another pet. So I got Garnet a kitten named Diana because she felt very much like a cat person. I don't know, like I feel like she wouldn't be super into dogs. And then something that I sort of continued throughout the Rose gen is I had Garnet take selfies with like everybody that she dated to like sort of keep track of it, because there's so many with that serial romantic aspiration. You have to like date so many people. So I took screenshots for like every single one. And I really liked her room, like her teenage room. It was very cozy, it fit the vibe, and it still had like, I called it the wall, which is just like a wall of selfies with the people that she dated. And then these are like more screenshots of people. And this is like the Chihuahua, who I think was the child of the first original Chihuahua that we had. And then Diana together, some more Diana screenshots. And then Minta got abducted by aliens, which has not happened to me in years, like proper years. And I was like, of course the scientist gets abducted by aliens. And I didn't remember that you'd have to wait a while, like if you got pregnant by the alien abduction, you sort of have to wait for it to materialize. So like as soon as she came back, I checked and it didn't say that she was pregnant. So I was like, oh, okay, nothing happened, it was just an alien abduction. But then there was a surprise later on. So we continued with dating, and then Jasper started dating the best friend that he met as a kid. So I, of course, screenshots to capture the moment. More screenshots of Garnet and her random dates. And then this is where like we find out that Minta was pregnant from the alien abduction. And that was crazy because like I hadn't had Minta really do any kind of relationship, romance, any kind of anything after November died, because like I didn't feel like she would want to do anything else after that. Like I felt like she was just sort of putting all of her energy into her kids. Like I don't think she would have really moved on. So like the baby alien, great surprise, big surprise, was not a planned thing. I don't even think that she had like a room. Like our house was built for 3 technically 4, but we only had 3. We didn't have a room for the baby. We just put her in Minta's room. Like I gave her like a little corner because she was just a baby for the most part. But like in my head, right, like the lore that I like to sort of create for occults, because like I really like occult sims, I made it so that like she'd age faster. So like as soon as she was born, I'd like age her up faster than whatever the lifespan was, because we're playing on normal lifespan. So I had it sort of like she'd be aging on like a short lifespan rather than the normal one. Oh, and like Garnet she got into a lot of mess because these 2 are brothers, and she definitely dated both of them. And the sad thing is that's not even like the only pair of brothers that she ended up dating. It was like 2 sets, I believe, maybe even 3. And so yeah, this was like the first official date with that sim, and we have like a bunch of screenshots, and it was like a fancy restaurant because they lived in Tartosa at the time. So there's like, I placed a bunch of like Italian restaurant lots in because it feels like the place that a fancy Italian restaurant would be. And then this was their like mid-teen makeovers, so I changed Jasper's facial hair to like the second one from Parenthood, so it's like not just like the sparse mustache, it's also like the sparse beard too. And then I figured her hair would grow, so I gave her longer hair. More Diana pics because she was just very cute. And then yeah, the alien the alien was happening, and again, of course, it's like perfect because she's a scientist, so like her whole space themed room, like it fit the vibe. And then prom, Garnet really didn't do much for prom. Like she had so many options, and one of them just asked her, and she was like, okay. And yeah, that's why we ended up going to prom. And Jasper had a good time with, I believe her name is Elise, I don't know, can't remember, but he had a good time with his girlfriend, and he actually was voted prom royalty. More Garnet and Diana content. And then finally the alien baby. And I named her Alara because I believe it's like space themed. I love a good theme to name for this playthrough. Like it's just I like it. It's fun. I like researching names. And she was like the perfect color. She like came out like this, not quite mint, but like blue, like very blue. And it just, yeah, it fit Minta's vibe so much. And she turned out so cute. So like I kept her. I thought very long about that, like returning her to the homeworld, because I'm like, I don't have the time or patience to deal with babies right now. Like I thought we were past that. So like it really threw a spanner in the works, but she was a really cute spanner, so I kept her. And yeah, they had a good time. I don't know, and especially because she was an alien and I kept that lore in there where she would like age faster. It wasn't so bad. Yeah, like they had a good time. And then she aged up, and it was kind of fun having a sim that didn't have like a natural skin color. I have never really played with aliens too much because they kind of got the short end of the occult sim stick. They were like the first occult, I'm pretty sure, so they didn't get that cool power web that a lot of like the more recent occults have. Like aliens and mermaids and plant sims really could use a revamp, because there's really no real need to play them as they are right now. Like I hate to say that, but like it's really true. Like they can't really do very much compared to like vampires or werewolves or spellcasters. So yeah, I'm furthering my agenda for occult sim justice. I feel like all occults should have that like cool web of abilities, because then it makes them worth playing. Like, and as an occult sim player, there's already so much backlash about them not being realistic. Like, at least with vampires and werewolves and spellcasters, like you can have some sort of justification for them. Like it's cool, they have like fun abilities and you can like make them any way you want them. But like with the others, it's like they just kind of are as they are, you know. Like you can't, there's not a lot of wiggle room with that. So yeah, I would just like that to be fixed eventually. And then of course an updated family photo because they have a whole alien kit now. For some reason Alara and Jasper got along like really well, so like I had them usually like hang out with each other more than Alara and Garnet. And then this is Garnet and her bestie from childhood who I also gave like a mid-teen makeover to. And then this was, granted it looks a lot older than mid-teen, which I kind of forgot when I was making it in Cat that she was not an adult yet, but like the look, great, love it a lot, great. And then this sim actually is the other sim that was like in the Twitter poll, because there was only two options, and it was the first sim that she dated and then this sim. And I really like this sim, and this is the sim that we made the spouse for. But really love the look, great look, great vibe. And then I wish there was like a jogging together interaction, because Minta and Garnet both enjoy like jogging to clear their mind, but there's no way to jog together, so they just were jogging the same route but separately, and that's like so stupid. And then because her kids were getting older and like about to move out, she adopted an emotional support cat named Nova, and I love the Sphinx cats in The Sims 4 because I love the little like skin texture that they have. It's very cute. And then of course more Alara and Jasper hanging out together, because I really think they get along because they both like science and stuff. And I had Jasper want to be a scientist since both of his parents were scientists. It felt like the right step for him. And then some very rare Garnet and Alara content, because like again, they really never hung out like naturally. They just never were in the same room together. And then the twins, well really everybody aged up. And then some updated family photos, and then of course a new victim to add to the wall, and teenage Alara content. And then I also gave Minta like a shorter haircut, and I believe I took her skin overlay off so that way like a couple of the wrinkles can show through, because by now she's like an adult, I believe, like just an adult, like they just aged up to adult, so not super wrinkled, but like, you know, age should show. I got Jasper because he's a dog lover. I got him a Yorkie. Those two, like the emotional support cat and the dog were both just adopted, which I haven't really been doing since I like usually get the pets from the gallery, but some of them are really cute from like the adoption category. And then Alara's best friend is surprisingly Lou from the werewolf pack. Literally like the werewolf pack, like the werewolf game pack, but also like the werewolf pack, his daughter. So she's a werewolf, and I think it only makes sense that like the occult Sims would like hang out together. And so this was of course after they'd aged up. So Jasper became a scientist, and then Minta was just like feeling proud because like her son was following in her footsteps. And then this was Garnet being very messy and for some reason the game bringing like every single person that she's ever dated or flirted with into the same bar at the same time. And you can see by like the faces, it's very awkward, extremely awkward situation. And then this, like, I thought it was like so funny because she had like the audacity to have a fear of being cheated on fear when she had been like wreaking havoc in the Sims community for like almost her entire teenagehood and currently. And it's just so funny that she had that. And so like I was trying to get the non-heir Sims together and get their life together. So I had Jasper propose, so that way like, you know, they can like move on when I'm not in control of them. And with neighborhood stories, it does kind of make it easier to do that. And then finally, Minta mastered the scientist career, which I believe was like the last thing that we had to do for the challenge. And then their wedding, very cute wedding. It was my first time having like a wedding using the wedding pack because I had only just recently bought it. And it actually turned out all right. Like, it was pretty nice. There wasn't any like gigantic disaster that happened. And the screenshots came out like really nicely. Like it was very nice. It made me kind of emotional because I'm like, he was just a toddler like 3 days ago. Meanwhile, 3 days ago was like 4 months ago, like 4 real life months ago. And the screenshots were fun. And then so I had, after the wedding, I had Garnet and her bestie Elise move out into a new house in Wimbledon Bay. And so initially the plan that I had for Elise was for her to date one of the guys that Garnet had dated but didn't continue dating, like only for her aspiration but not like seriously. That was sort of like the plan. Like that was who was in the first screenshot. And then I had, so this is Elise's sister, who I just really like her. Like, I don't know, I like her vibe a lot. And it was just really nice because like she decided to randomly appear at the door like the next morning after they moved in, and like she helped cook breakfast with her, and I thought it was just really sweet. Like the game sometimes has really good moments. And then also Jasper and his wife also randomly appeared like walked right in, and I was like, oh, this is really nice. Like it just, occasionally the game understands what you'd like to do and it adds some randomness. And then her mother showed up too, so really it was like the entire family and Elise's little brother, like really both of their families randomly showed up at the door, and then they had like a family reunion party in their new home. And so this was so the same sim that I was talking about earlier that I had as like the dating plan for Elise, they went to a restaurant in San Myshuno, and like when they got there, the chef died, and then the waitress just like steps over the chef like she has more important things to do than like deal with this right now. Meanwhile, the entire restaurant randomly like all piled into the kitchen to see that the chef died. And then they decided to not eat at the restaurant anymore and they went to karaoke, and he decided to sing karaoke with an umbrella in his hand, and the date really didn't go badly. Like aside from those 2 accidents, it was pretty okay. And then cat photo shoot with Garnet and Diana. And then when they got back home, randomly, this is the same sim that Elise like had just gone on the date with, he decided to randomly propose to Garnet, and I was like, no. Like she didn't even really like him that much. Like he was literally just to check off the aspiration. So I said no, but also that meant that he had to like, Elise and him couldn't really be dating because clearly he was not over Garnet. So like I broke that off, and then I adopted another cat because I didn't want Diana to get lonely. So got a cat. And then this is the second date with the now father of the yellow gen sim. And then of course, because of the new cat, Diana decided to randomly get pregnant. So Elise was sort of bouncing back, I guess, from that, because that was kind of embarrassing to have to deal with. So she broke up with the other sim, and then this was actually one of the Casmus sims that I made. I think he was like day one, but I really liked his vibe and how he turned out. And so I like put him into the Not So Berry save, and they had a pretty good date. Like it actually went way better than the first one, and no chef died, so that was a plus. And this is the this is the other sim that was up for the poll, like as an adult, so you can see how both of them looked. And this was, I believe, when she had just finished her aspiration, so I took a screenie to commemorate the moment. And then Diana had her kittens, and there were a lot of kittens, like 3 of them, quite a lot, but they were really cute, so I took a bunch of screenshots. But they all look like the father. Like none of them got her fur pattern, and Garna was having a great time because, like, as a cat person, she was having a great time. 5 cats in one household, she was loving it. Basically, the next couple of screenshots are just a bunch of cat family moments. And then Elise went to visit her family, and it was just a cute moment, so I took a screenshot. And this was like her sister's kids and her sister's husband. And then like when Elise was on a date with the Casmus guy, who I forgot what I named him, randomly it decided that like Garnet would get proposed to, and it would have like that phone call. So I of course accepted it because I saw the opportunity, because she as part of the Not So Berry challenge, she sort of has to get married and leave somebody at the altar, so perfect opportunity there. And so yeah, so this is the sim that she got like engaged to, and then realized that like the yellow gen was like on the way, and also Jasper and his wife were like expecting a baby also at the same time. Perfect timing on Neighborhood Stories part. And then they had like an engagement pregnancy announcement photo shoot, which was nice. It kind of made me a little sad because like I realized that like they wouldn't stay together, like because she kind of has to leave him at the altar, and I don't really know how I want them to react. Like I know that it's gonna get like the worst sentiment from that, so I know it's gonna have like a really bad effect on the relationship, but I don't know quite where I want that to go as of right now. And then they had like double date breakfast things, more cat photos. And so this was her mom just randomly showed up, but also the other sim that was like in the running also popped up. So I figured I'd let Garnet sort of like keep him around, because I do feel like she uses sims. Like I hate that, but like it feels very much like the personality of the Roach Gen sim is to just like use sims all the time. So this is him in front of the wall, which I'm pretty sure features on, he's somewhere over there. And then just because I wanted the yellow gen sim to have a like built-in friend. Of course you can't have friends until after the mint sim dies, but like eventually she will be friends with Elise's kid. So yeah. And then they got like married, but like quietly, because I feel like that matches their vibe. And I really just needed her to get out of the house, because I kind of forgot that like she couldn't, like the yellow gen sim couldn't instantly befriend her kid. So yeah, more bestie content, some good family moments, cooking. And then this was Elise's baby, who I'm pretty sure is named Annabelle. So yeah, cute times. Yeah, so finally I only just had Garnet and I believe 3 of the cats, because I'm pretty sure I gave 2 of the cats away to like the other branches of the family who didn't have any pets. And then Garnet graduated from college, because I had her go into college, that way when we apply for the politician career we can get like a couple steps higher than if we just applied naturally. And then like immediately after graduation she gave birth to the yellow gen sim, who I named Citrine. Yeah, continuing the like gemstone vibes. And luckily it was a girl, so I didn't even have to like make her a girl, because I do want to keep to the like female heir not so berry playthrough, and since you can only have one kid, like I couldn't, like if it was a boy, like what would I do? I would kind of had to make him a girl. And this is Jasper's son, who I cannot remember the name of right now, but yeah. And then this was like a cute nursery shot. Because the yellow gen sim has to be interested in like space, I went for like clouds and stars, and I kept the same stuffies from Garnet and Jasper's nursery, and I just changed the little triceratops to yellow to match the gen. And then this is just them together. And then this is when she aged up into a toddler, which is where I left off in playing. And then I made this cute little like scrapbook thing of like her life so far. Yeah, so that's the story so far, and I'm probably going to just start a let's play from the yellow gen. Since she's only a toddler, like nothing really has happened so far. And also, I guess technically the rose gen is still going, because we only just completed, I believe, 2 of the requirements, like the charisma. She maxed the charisma skill and then she finished her aspiration, but she still has to leave somebody at the altar, get married as an elder, and max the politician career. So yeah, I'm just gonna sort of start the let's play from there. It would be very random if I didn't do this sort of like retelling, because like nobody would know what was going on. So yeah, let me know if you liked it, if it was helpful, if you're interested in seeing a like non-traditional starting point from like a not so very let's play. And yeah.